Okay, coming up on the show now, we have a solo male singer-songwriter who has a passion for music. I'd like to introduce Mario Anastasi on my show. We have him interactive on a live Zoom video call right now.
Hello there.
Hello, Mario. How's life treating you today?
Fine, absolutely brilliant.
Great to
Really
hear.
cool show here today now.
Great. And where are you situated here in the UK?
North London,
North
Finch.
London. Very good. That's where all the music happens, isn't it?
So they say.
Cool. And can you tell me what life was like starting off as a musician? Do you have like any fond memories and highlights?
Well, I started from, sort of quite young, and I started writing, sort of songs as well then from young age, and it's was always related to what I was going through at the moment in time. So I've diversified a few times in life. I mean, I started with sort of pop elements, and then I went into sort of Latin pop, and then Latin fusion. And eventually, from all the things that have happened to me the last few years, like, all of us go through these dark sort of tunnels sometimes, I ended up more of a singer-songwriter type folk ish type vibe, guitar um, sort of based acoustic guitar. Always have it next to me as well, type of thing. And again, this is what I'm really involved with at the moment in time.
Lovely, lovely to hear. And also, you've had a bit of a background in acting as well.
This was true. This was with in my younger years. I've done a bit of acting, and when I was abroad as well, places like Cyprus, Greece, sort of on TV and things like that. But eventually, I just um, went into completely into music. So this is my real passion.
Lovely
Um,
to hear. And you're promoting and plugging a new single out at the moment. I've had a listen, and I describe it as a lovely laid-back acoustic number, hence a guitar there, which is kind to the ear.
oh, thank you. That's very
Yeah,
kind
and
of you.
I know what it's called, but can you just tell my listeners what it's called?
It's called Seize the Moment.
Caesar
And
moment, yes. And this must be an exciting time for you because it's been played on various playlists. And is it wonderful to hear this single's been quite well received?
seems so, it seems that there's quite a few radio stations that are playing it at this moment in time. It is the first single off the album, No Place Like Home.
Hmm.
And the whole album is, as you've mentioned a while ago, it's guitar, acoustic guitar based. And it's a journey of tracks that I went through a very dark place a few years ago. And it relates mainly, like mindfulness and how important it is to savor every single day of our life. And there, I mean, it's a title as well. Seize the moment relates to that exact sort of emotion and feeling.
So it's
Um,
very, very relatable for the listener to connect with.
yeah, I feel so too as well. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, in my notes I put here like because Caesar moment comes from the perception that tomorrow's never promised, and you're here for a good time, not a long time. Do you feel that's along the lines you were trying to uh, portray?
Exactly. I mean, all of us, if we look at it, how fast do these years pass? Before we know it, we're gone. So it's so important to. I mean, it's a cliche, but we say this all the time, to value what we have whilst it's still here, because once it's gone, it's gone. And the most precious thing we have right now is time.
Hmm.
And sort of each moment of this that we have is priceless. And we're all sort of trapped in our mundane lives. And even though we know this and we say this to ourselves all the time, but it's many times we forget to live the moment.
Because it like say like in my 20s and 30s and probably everyone else's mostly of everyone else's, you feel like you're invincible, you feel like you got to some degree the world at your feet, and then as you grow older you become wiser and you kind of adapt to like the reality of things.
Very well said. That's exactly how it is. I'm, a few years older than you, and I've seen, sort of the different things that life's journey brings to everyone.
Mm,
I mean, if we all have a story, Dan, and it's important that we realize that nothing is permanent. We all have our ups and downs, and sometimes these downs can really affect us
mhm.
for a long time. But we, again, I keep reiterating how important it is to, sort of seize the moment on a daily basis, and just take time and give a bit of love back to ourselves.
Mm. And Caesar Moment as well, your new single, do you feel this ultimately showcases like your musicianship and, your lyricism as well?
I hope so. I hope this does reflect exactly, the emotions and where I am at life in life at this moment
Mm.
in time.
And did you write this song wholly by yourself, or did you do like a collaboration with someone else, like the instrumentation?
No, I wrote and produced it myself.
Wow, that's amazing. And Caesar Moment is taken, as you say, from your new album, No Place Like Home. And just looking at the artwork on, some of the social medias or the streaming platforms, the artwork for this is very interesting. Your album cover. Where was the idea for this to come from?
It came from again it is part of the first track of the album. The next track, hopefully the end of the month, I'll start going with the second track, which is Let It Go, and it's all the whole album. Every single track is the tracks are interrelated. It's the story, as I said, and unfortunately, sometimes we're trapped in a dark tunnel, and this album helped me get into the light. And the No Place Like Home album is the very thing that everything that's related to our lives is very much related to love. It's all about love. And the cover itself is No Place Like Home. Home is where love is, where
Mhm.
we have the people that we love most.
And No Place Like Home is a 10-track album, and we'll just touch on a couple of the tracks from that album. Um, and we just talked about Caesar Moment. Did you feel this was a gentle introductory number? Caesar Moment.
Yes, spot on. I felt that, there are a couple of tracks there, a little bit more on the, somber side. But, because as I mentioned a while ago, something happened. I had a huge loss a few years ago, and this is what inspired the album. And it started with a couple of more somber tracks, and as things evolved, by the time I came to the last few tracks in the on the album, they were on a far more positive sort of note, including Season Moment.
Mm. And Rainbow Dreams, that's a beautiful song title in itself and record. Did you enjoy the making of this single, the production?
Yes, I did.
Mm.
That's co-produced by another friend of mine, a guy called John Themis. But yes, that again, I wrote that completely by myself. The whole album, bar one, was written by myself. There is a cover there, a track called Vincent by Don McLean. All the other tracks are completely original, and I solely wrote all the tracks there.
Mm. And the Vincent cover, was that always one kind of rendition you always yearned to release?
Yes. No, I mean, again, the track relates somehow to the rest of the tracks. It's a storyboard, and all the tracks are interlinked in a way or another. Sort of it's they are connected
Mm.
through the journey that I've personally been through.
Yeah, because like when you say like Vincent, not every man would know the song, but if you say to them Starry, Starry Night, they'll, oh yeah, I remember that one.
Well done, absolutely spot on. Yes, exactly. That's right.
Cool. And who have been your inspirations and influences, over the decades?
Oh dear. It starts back from your Bob Dylans and Simon and Garfunkel's, sort of that type of era,
Mm.
until very recently, sort of uh, other artists, sort of singer-songwriter type of uh, sort of artists, which are very current these days.
Like storytellers.
Exactly, storytellers.
Were you
Well,
into Leonard Cohen at all?
yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. Leonard Cohen was a big one as well, a fantastic artist, sort of very inspirational.
Mm. And do you prefer to release like single by single and then release an album or an EP?
Yeah, I think that's the way. Well, this is the way right now, which is, what's happening. I mean, in the old days, pre 2000, as we all know, when the CDs were out, it used to be, the story was, release an album,
Mm,
or single, two, three singles, and then the album, but the album was the
mm,
set. Now things have completely changed, as
mm.
we all know.
And
So
are you happy to see like vinyl make a slight comeback?
I'd love to see that. I love, sort of vinyl. I mean, there's nothing like the physical product,
Mm,
your hand. And there was a certain, sort of, should I say, je ne sais quoi, sort of a certain something when you had vinyl there. I mean,
mm,
I've got vinyl still from many years ago, which I haven't opened up.
yeah.
Uh, Sometimes I'd buy two copies, one for, I would store, and the other one, sort of playing on the deck type of
Mm.
thing.
Because I remember like buying CDs in Woolworths and like all the mega stores at HMVs. There's still HMVs in the country, but do you feel like that those shops closing have contributed to the kind of demise of the compact disc?
They have, but I mean, technology, one thing for certain, whatever happens around us, technology will always change the way we listen to music,
Mm,
unfortunately.
mm,
It's something, I would love to go back to the old days where, all the physical product was there, CDs and vinyl, but we are where we are at this moment
mm.
in time.
I guess it's like evolutionary how things happen.
Spot on.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And being in North London, do you get a chance to do gigs in your town or your city?
Sometimes, yes, sometimes in London, sometimes abroad as well, so wherever it takes me type of
Yeah.
thing.
What type of venues do you like playing? Like coffee shops or like jazz venues or
Yeah,
laid back venues?
but all the laid back venues
Mm,
are preferent, preferable where people can sit down and listen to what one's doing, uh, and and there's a connection with the audience as well that
mm.
way.
They seem to
In
be quite popular now, these independent like when I say like live music venues, where people can have like a coffee, and you have like a musician like in the background. They seem to be, popping up everywhere here in Birmingham anyway.
you're based in Birmingham, of
Yeah, the
course.
Midlands, yes.
Brilliant. I tell yeah, and I'm happy this is happening. I mean, it's great for people to be able to go in, these kind of coffee shops and just enjoy a coffee or a drink, and just relax and sort of socialize in that particular way.
Yeah. And do you feel that more people from the next generation should support like live music if they can?
I think that will be fantastic.
Mm,
You know, Keeping music live is of paramount importance.
mm,
I think. And unfortunately, there's so many pubs that have closed down in the last few years.
mm,
Shops allows for that interaction, between musician and the fans, general public type of thing.
mm. There's some amazing independent artists like, out there like yourself, who are, you know, um, trying to get your music out heard.
Yeah. And I mean, and thanks once again for the lovely comments there. But yeah, totally, I totally feel this is something extremely important for musicians and, for the fans and the public to be able to have that ability to be able to listen to live music and, sort of speak, talk to, interact with the musicians and artists.
Mm. Sure thing. And where's best for people to follow you on like social media or a website or an emailing list or follow you on a streaming platforms? Where's best in your mind where people can follow you on?
I'm on social. I am on Spotify and Apple, and all the normal platforms. The tracks are all there, and I'm also on Instagram as well, Mario Anastasi, and always happy to have new people coming on board, and I'm very I do like interacting with fans as well.
Yeah, and brilliant. And Mario Anastasi, um, best for people to remember you. I know you got Anastasia, but without the A at the end.
Yeah, without the A at the end.
That's fantastic. Great. And will there be more music to expect from you in the future anytime soon?
Well, I'm releasing a new single, "Let It Go," at the end of the month. And I'll be releasing a new single for the next 4 or 5 months on a monthly basis.
Great. Well, we look forward to
The album.
hearing the album, yes, and look forward to hearing more new music in the coming months and the rest of the year.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much for that and your time.
Great stuff. Thanks for having taken the time out to speak to me today, Mario Anastasia, on today's show.
Thanks very much.
You're very
Thank
welcome.